Top 20 Computer Programmer Analyst Interview Questions and Answers. There are many available choices of jobs in the computer field, and Computer Programmer Analyst is one of them. If you intend to apply for this job, here are 20 questions and answers that may be used in interviews. 1. What makes you interested in this position? Sample answer: I hold a degree in computer programming and had always aimed to take Computer Programmer Analyst as my profession. I am very passionate about computers, especially programming. I have an immense interest to learn more about programming that I still am not aware of. By working as a computer programmer analyst, I strive to be able to unlock more skills related to computers. 2. What are the qualities that a computer programmer analyst should possess to be effective? Sample answer: a computer programmer analyst should have a high passion for the computer to enjoy their work. They should also be patient and organized in performing their tasks. This job requires a lot of programming tasks, hence they should be familiar with the knowledge and technical skills. They should also be prepared to work for long hours and accept a lot of tasks at the same time. 3. Describe your daily routine as a computer programmer analyst. Sample answer: a computer programmer analyst may spend their days inventing computer systems. Their tasks range from writing code, testing, as well as analyzing programs. Hence, it is typical for a computer programmer analyst to spend most of their time analyzing codes on the computer. 4. What is your background as a computer programmer analyst, and what was the first programming language you learned? Sample answer: I hold a bachelor's degree in computer programming. The 4 years I spent taught me a lot of the necessary knowledge and skills needed to become an effective programmer. The first programming language that I was introduced to was Java. I was taught to understand the fundamentals concept of the language. 5. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you handle it? Sample answer: the major challenge I had in the past was dealing with a difficult customer. Aside from the trouble of explaining the components to the customer, he kept on changing the terms. The processes did not go as smoothly as the intended initial plan, as he requested changes often. That experience was quite difficult for me, who was a fresh graduate at that time. This experience taught me to be firm and stick with the initial plan unless the changes are feasible. 6. Can you explain a complicated software system design to a customer without a programming background? Sample answer: yes, I am confident in my capabilities to explain to other people. I had several experiences explaining the system to people who are not familiar with them. To ensure they understand the concept of design, I used an analogy and simpler terms so that they could imagine how the system works. Sometimes, I showed them pictures or videos to enhance better understanding. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset is required for this role? Sample answer: working in a computer field requires a lot of work with computers. Spending long hours in front of the computers may cause a toll on my body, hence I always remind myself to fix my posture. This may sound trivial, but an aching body may disrupt my performance. Another mindset is to always be alert to my schedule. 8. Have you been working on new projects, or are you learning a new programming language? Sample answer: I am currently learning how to create a simple mobile application. It is a simple gaming application, but the processes allow me to apply my existing knowledge as well as exploring other new skills. Aside from that project, I am also learning a new programming language, which is Ruby. 9. How do you stay motivated at work? Sample answer: I usually keep a record of short and long-term goals. Achieving the goals is one of the biggest motivations to enjoy my career. The goal set could be as simple as meeting deadlines. In times of exhaustion, I will take a break from the computer. Doing a simple stretching and grabbing a drink help a lot to boost my momentum again. 10. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? Sample answer: the challenge that will be faced by a computer programmer analyst is the need to constantly learn new programming knowledge. It is crucial to identify which language is the most suitable to be used in a certain situation. However, this may not be burdensome if a person has a high interest in programming. I will always motivate myself to learn new skills effortfully. 11. Share your biggest accomplishment. Sample answer: during my previous job, I was one of the programmers in charge of creating prototype-based programming. One of the biggest accomplishments I achieved was the improvement of work quality by 50% compared to the previous month. I managed to create prototypes twice the number that I did the month before, which is a huge achievement for me. 12. Share how do you organize your work? Sample answer. I keep a planner that provides what I have to do daily, weekly, and monthly. This allows me to be alert of upcoming works that need to be attended to. I always prioritize my works according to the difficulty and deadlines. Keeping this list and revising regularly has helped me to keep my work organized. 13. Describe a time you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. Sample answer. The failure I had in the past revolved around my communication skill. Once, I had to work on another person's code who was away for a business trip. I was a new recruit at the time and was unsure how to solve it. I created a new code that I was familiar with. A colleague noticed that I was working on a new code and told me that there are guidelines on the code earlier. I learned that I needed to improve my interpersonal and communication skills at that time. 14. What is your weakness as a computer programmer analyst? Sample answer. My weakness is to keeping track of my tasks. I am always curious about new skills and platforms, hence if I ran into some new things, I would be distracted to explore them. This has been one of my biggest concerns throughout the years. To overcome, I would try my best to focus on one project at a time. This could prevent me from spending hours exploring knowledge to be applied to another project. 15. How do you handle disagreements in your group? Sample answer. If a conflict occurs in my group, I would try to bring my teammates and have a discussion to resolve the issue. That is, if I were at the same level of position as them. I may not be able to effectively do this if I were a newbie in the group. However, this could be countered by consulting with managers to intervene. 16. Is there any lesson learned from mistakes by any computer programmer analyst that happened in the past? Sample answer. One of the mistakes that a colleague in my previous workplace did was not cooperating in a group project. The person decided to move at his own pace and refused to join any discussion or receiving assistance. The situation has a backlash to the person as what he was working on did not align well with the others. This taught me that cooperation is needed to be effective in the workplace. 17. Aside from programming skills, what other skills are important to be a successful computer programmer analyst? Sample answer. Besides programming skills, it is crucial to possess good time management, as this field requires us to work on multiple projects. It is also important to have quality control analysis skills to ensure that the results produced meet its target precisely. Another important skill is learning and listening skills, as we are required to interact with other people from time to time. 18. What are the examples of requirements that should be analyzed by a system analyst? Sample answer. One of the requirements that need to be gathered is technical requirements. This revolves around the details of the system. For instance, the programming language used and the standards maintained. Another requirement that should be analyzed is the functional requirements, which involve the expected delivery from the system. 19. Do you know what are some software policies that should be implemented in a company? Sample answer. The most common policy is by forbidding employees to access the company's data using external drives. This is important to prevent data breaching, and the employee will have to take responsibility for it. Employees should also avoid using the company's properties for personal use. The other thing is by disallowing employees to access and download unauthorized websites and software. 20. How do you keep up to date with new technologies and trends in this field and job? Sample answer. I keep myself updated through online blogs. Several blogs introduce and review new technologies and software on programming, which pique my interest. I made sure to subscribe to their page and keep being alerted every time they post new content. The other way is by following top worldwide programmers on their professional page, such as LinkedIn.